Chargers fans, pull up, because what's happening in Los Angeles right now deserves your full attention. This offseason could shape the future of Justin Herbert in a huge way, and I'm telling you right now, there are real signals flying all over the place. We're talking offensive line questions, draft drama, a possible impact move at wide receiver, and one big decision after another that could completely change how we look at this team. So if you live for every rumor, every roster move, every little clue out of Chargers camp, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because this is one of those moments where everything feels like it matters. Let's start with the biggest issue, because we all know what it is. Protecting Justin Herbert. That is still the story. That is still the pressure point. That is still the thing that can make or break this team. A year ago, it was obvious the Chargers had not done enough on the interior offensive line. Bradley Bozeman was basically handed the center job without real competition. Zion Johnson was still a question mark, and Mekhi Becton felt like a gamble that needed everything to break perfectly. And now? Yes, they changed some pieces. Yes, Tyler Biadasz is a real upgrade at center. Yes, Cole Strange is in the mix. Yes, Trevor Penning is back. But be honest, does that really feel like enough for a team that's supposed to be serious about contending? That's the issue. Biadasz should absolutely help. He brings more stability, better communication, and more control in the middle of the line, and that matters. But the real question is not whether the Chargers got a little better. The real question is whether they got good enough. Because if your franchise quarterback is Justin Herbert, better than before is not the standard. The standard is keeping him clean, keeping him upright, and finally giving him the kind of support that lets this offense go nuclear. And what makes this even more frustrating is that the Chargers have mostly sat out the rest of the market. Bill Barnwell pointed out that Joe Hortiz may want to wait until after June 1st to protect a compensatory pick. And if Kevin Zeitler is still out there, then sure, that move would make a ton of sense. But if he's not, then what are we doing? Waiting for training camp cuts? Hoping another team's cast-off becomes the answer? For a team that had major cap space and a quarterback window that is open right now, that feels like a dangerous game. Could the new scheme help? Absolutely. Could Biadasz raise the floor? Definitely. Could internal competition surprise us? Maybe. But it also feels like the Chargers are asking hope to cover for a problem that probably needed a much more aggressive fix. So tell me this right now in the comments. Do you trust Biadasz, Strange, and Penning to hold it down? Or do the Chargers still need to go get a real starting guard before this thing gets ugly? Now here's where it gets really interesting. Because while everybody is screaming for more help around Herbert, the latest mock draft from Mel Kiper throws a curveball. Peter Woods, defensive tackle out of Clemson, to the Chargers at 22. And at first glance, some fans are going to say, wait, what? Defense? Right now? But slow down, because this actually tells us something. If the Chargers truly believe they address the interior offensive line enough to buy themselves flexibility, then going defense in the first round starts to make sense. It sends a message. It says the front office might believe the offensive line can be patched together with what they already added, with coaching, with scheme, and maybe one more move later. And if that's how they see it, then a high upside defensive lineman like Peter Woods becomes very real. The production last season doesn't jump off the page. 2 sacks, 30 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss. Fine, but that's not the whole story. Kiper's argument is about upside, burst, disruption, and what Woods could become as an interior penetrator at the next level. Put him next to guys like Tier Tart and Dalvin Tomlinson, and now you're talking about building a defensive front that can create real chaos. That matters a lot, because if the Chargers believe Woods can become a havoc wreaker inside, then this is not just another pick. This is a statement about where they think the biggest value is. But let's be real about the other side too. If the Chargers take Peter Woods, they are basically telling fans, we believe the offensive line will be okay. And that is a bold bet. Maybe too bold for some people. If you still think Herbert needs more protection right now, then using 22 on defense is going to feel like a luxury pick. If you think the team can survive with what it already has up front and add line help later, then suddenly Woods looks like a swing that could raise the ceiling of the whole defense. So let me ask you straight up, if Peter Woods is on the board at 22, are you making that pick? Or are you still going offense or offensive line no matter what? And speaking of offensive line, there is one name that keeps standing out if the Chargers want a real answer on the inside: Emmanuel Pregnon. This is where things start to line up in a very interesting way. The Chargers lost Zion Johnson, moved on from Becton, brought in Strange, kept Penning, and still don't exactly inspire total confidence at guard. So if they want a cleaner solution, the draft might be the best route. And Pregnon? He checks a lot of boxes. Big, strong, athletic, versatile, experienced, and maybe most importantly, ready to compete for a starting job right away. This dude has real credentials. First-team All-American, first-team All-Big Ten, top-rated guard by PFF in 2025, and the pass protection numbers are the kind that should make every Chargers fan lean in. He was not credited with allowing a sack over the last 3 seasons between USC and Oregon. Last year, across 382 pass-blocking snaps, he allowed just 1 quarterback hit, 2 hurries, and 3 total pressures. That is not fluff. That is real production in the exact area the Chargers should be obsessing over. Keeping Herbert clean is not a luxury. It is the mission. And there's more. Pregnon has the size and strength to move people in the run game, but he also has the foot quickness and mobility to fit a more athletic system. That's a huge deal when the reporting suggests the Chargers want more speed and movement from their guards. He has played both sides of the line. He's shown adaptability. He's been training with Duke Manyweather and O-line masterminds, alongside Rashawn Slater and Tyler Biadasz. That kind of preparation matters. That kind of fit matters. So yeah, taking him at 22 might be a little rich depending on who else is there. But if the Chargers truly see him as a plug-and-play starter in this offense, then maybe it's not a reach at all. Maybe it's the smartest pick they can make. So give me your honest read. If Emmanuel Pregnon is there, are you sprinting to the podium with that card? Or are you trying to trade down and still get him later? Now let's shift to the skill positions, because this rumor right here could change the entire feel of the offense. Juwan Jennings to the Chargers. Oh yeah, now we're talking. According to Nick Shook, the Chargers are the best fit for the former 49ers wide receiver, and the more you think about it, the more sense it makes. This is not just about adding another random body to the room. This is about adding a proven, physical, battle-tested pass catcher who could make life easier on Justin Herbert in the moments that matter most. Look at where the Chargers are right now. Trey Harris showed flashes. Quentin Johnston is still a major storyline. Ladd McConkey is already a very important part of the offense. But with Keenan Allen still unsigned, there is still room, and maybe even a real need, for another veteran target. Jennings brings experience, toughness, and production. 75 games, 210 catches, 2,581 yards, 22 touchdowns. That is not nothing. That is a player who knows how to contribute, who knows how to handle different roles, and who can bring some edge to your passing game. And that's the key. Jennings would not just be another receiver. He could fill a role this offense really needs. A reliable chain mover, a physical target in traffic, a guy who doesn't blink on third down, a receiver who brings grit, not just flash. He's not the shiny sports car. He's the muscle car. He's the guy you trust when the pocket is muddy, the game is tight, and Herbert needs somebody to make a grown man catch through contact. That matters, especially in a room that could still use more veteran steadiness. Now, let's be clear. This is still a rumor. This is a fit being projected, not a signing that has happened. There's no confirmation here that the Chargers are closing in on him. But if the 49ers really are ready to move on, and if the Chargers still want another established pass catcher, this is exactly the kind of move that could quietly become one of the smartest additions of the offseason. So tell me right now, would Juwan Jennings be a real boost for Herbert in this offense? Or do you want the Chargers chasing a different type of wide receiver? At the end of the day, that's why this offseason still feels so charged up. The Chargers may not be done, not even close. One move on the offensive line changes the confidence level around Herbert. One decision at pick 22 changes the entire direction of the draft. One veteran receiver signing changes the balance of the offense. Every move matters. Every clue matters. Every decision is another piece of the puzzle. And that's why you cannot take your eyes off this team right now. So if you rocked with this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with another Chargers fan, and hit the comments with the one move you believe this team absolutely has to make. Because the next step Los Angeles takes, it might be the one that changes everything.